V kept the dramatic storytelling style and emotional build-up while making it smoother, more concise, correcting minor errors like names. It's Alexandra Alex Eala, not Alex Oya or Aya/Oya, fixing inconsistencies and improving flow for better impact. Rafael Nadal surprised Alexandra Eala, and no one saw it coming. The gift wasn't just expensive. It was the kind of moment that changes a young athlete's life forever. When the greatest champion in tennis history steps out of retirement, picks up a racket, and chooses one person to share the court with, you have to ask, what does he see in her that the rest of the world is only beginning to understand? This is the story of a legend, a prodigy, and a bond that left an entire nation speechless. Here's a question for you. What would it feel like to receive a private message from the greatest tennis player of your generation, and not even notice it for 2 full days? That's exactly what happened to Alexandra Eala. In March 2025, at the WTA 1000 Miami Open, Eala stepped onto the court as a wild card. Unseeded. Unfavored. Not even supposed to be the story. Then she became the story. She defeated Jelena Ostapenko. She took down Madison Keys, the reigning Australian Open champion. And in a moment that stunned the entire tennis world, she walked out against Iga Swiatek, the world number 2, the dominant force in women's tennis, and beat her. A 19-year-old wild card from the Philippines toppled one of the most formidable players on the WTA Tour in front of a stunned Miami crowd. She became the first Filipino player in history to reach the semifinals of a WTA 1000 event. And the first to crack the top 100. Records weren't just broken, they were shattered one after another in a single unforgettable tournament week. And somewhere in Spain, a man named Rafael Nadal was watching. He sat down and sent a private message to his former student, the first personal message he had ever sent her. A man who had watched her train for years at his academy in Manacor, who had seen her raw potential up close during practice sessions across the net. That quiet, delayed message from a legend to his protege sparked something profound. A bond forged in sweat and dreams, now echoing across oceans and generations. This wasn't just congratulations. It was recognition. And for Eala it was everything. 1. Here's a rewritten continuation of your narrative, maintaining the dramatic, inspirational tone while smoothing out the flow, correcting names, Alexandra Eala, often called Alex, fixing typos, e.g., Aya, Eala, Eila, Eala, normally, normality, Rappler, incorporating accurate details from the real events. The private message from Nadal after her Miami 2025 breakthrough, her delayed discovery of it, the interview on Power and Play with Uncle Nolly Eala, and addressing the viral rumors/fake news about endorsements and gifts. It builds toward clarifying that the true gift from Nadal was far deeper than any material item. Rafael Nadal had quietly followed her career for years. Then finally he reached out directly, one-on-one, just him and her. Rafa messaged me, Alexandra Eala said during an interview with her uncle, Nolly Eala, on Power and Play. It was the first time he ever messaged me personally, so that was a shock to see. Funny story, I only saw it a couple of days later. It was exciting to see his notification. She only saw it a couple of days later. That single line captures everything about the moment. The humility of it, the beautiful chaos of it, the everyday normality of a young athlete so consumed by competition and growth that even a private message from Rafael Nadal could sit unnoticed in her notifications for 48 hours. And when she finally opened it, imagine the rush. The validation, the warmth, the quiet confirmation that the legend had been watching all along, that what she had achieved in Miami truly mattered to him. The internet, of course, didn't wait 48 hours to explode. Within days of her Miami run, Eala's name was everywhere. Fans in the Philippines flooded social media. Filipino communities from Melbourne to Dubai to Toronto shared clips, articles, and tributes faster than any algorithm could keep up. The pride was electric, the emotion was raw, and the story was only beginning. Here's what you need to understand about Alexandra Eala's journey, and the world she now navigates as a rising global sports figure. When you become this famous, your name turns into currency. It becomes something people trade in, something clicks chase, something attention orbits around. In the digital age, that attention isn't always rooted in facts. Sometimes it's fueled by hope, by national pride, by the desperate, beautiful longing to see someone you love succeed on the world's biggest stage. In September 2025, a viral social media post claimed Wilson Sporting Goods had offered Eala a $45 million endorsement deal. It racked up over 100,000 likes on Facebook. People shared it believing every word, celebrating it as the recognition their nation's star deserved. Fact-checkers at Verifiles and Rappler investigated and confirmed. It was false. No such deal existed. Wilson made no offer. The post was pure fabrication, built on hope and amplified by pride. The pattern repeated. Rumors of Emirates Airlines sponsorships. Claims of a custom Yonex racket engraved with Philippine icons. Each story more elaborate than the last. Each one debunked. Each one spreading anyway. Because when people love someone this deeply, they want the world to see what they already know to be true. The Toyota story follows the same current. There is no verified report of Rafael Nadal gifting Alexandra Eala a Toyota, or any car for that matter. Let's be clear. Viral videos and posts claiming a luxury vehicle handover are unconfirmed sensationalism, often AI-generated or exaggerated for views. No credible sources from Nadal's team, the Rafa Nadal Academy, or Eala herself, have substantiated any such material gift. What Nadal actually gave her is something far more significant, far more difficult to price, and far more lasting than any car could ever be. He gave her belief. Recognition from the man who shaped her early career at his academy in Manacor. A private message that said without fanfare, "I see you. Keep going." In a world drowning in hype and fabrication, that quiet, personal acknowledgement from a 22-time Grand Slam champion to his former student is the real treasure, one that money can't buy and no rumor can diminish. Here is the rewritten and completed version of your narrative, wrapping up the story with a powerful, inspirational close. I've preserved the emotional, dramatic tone, building on the mentorship theme, debunking the viral gift rumors, as the real gift is the training, belief, and shared court time, incorporating accurate details from events. Miami 2025 upset over Swiatek, the November 19, 2025 practice on Nadal's retirement anniversary, Tony Nadal's praise, Eala's current top 50 status as of early 2026, and ending on the note about Philippine hero celebrations while looking forward. Rafael Nadal didn't give her a car. He gave her 6 years of world-class training at his academy in Manacor. He gave her the framework, the discipline, the technical foundation upon which her entire professional game is built. He gave her his coaching staff, his courts, his system. He gave her his attention during one of the most pivotal developmental periods of her athletic life. And when she broke through at the Miami Open in March 2025, upsetting world number 2 Iga Swiatek in the quarterfinals to become the first Filipino to reach a WTA 1000 semifinal, he gave her a private message. The first personal message he had ever sent her, letting her know he had been watching and that he was proud. Then, on November 19, 2025, the exact 1-year anniversary of his final professional match, Nadal gave her his time. He could have been anywhere, in private reflection with his family, or simply at home in Mallorca. Instead, he chose to mark the day by returning to the court for the first time since retirement, and he chose to share it with her. Videos from the Rafa Nadal Academy show the two left-handers trading baseline rallies, laughing between points on an indoor court. Nadal posted afterward, "1 year later, it felt great to be back on a tennis court. It was great to practice with you at Eala. Next time I will be stronger." Winking face, Eala replied. "Back like you never left. Thank you for today, Rafa." She later shared how nervous she felt hitting with him, even after 6 years at the academy, even after cracking the top 50, even after beating the planet's number 2. That nervousness speaks volumes about her character. The deep respect she holds for excellence, the humility that keeps her grounded amid global fame. Tony Nadal, the inaugural director of the Rafa Nadal Academy and Rafael's uncle, spoke of her after the Miami run. "For the academy, and for me in particular, it's a huge success. She's the girl who's been with us the longest. In all this time, there's never been a single complaint from anyone, neither from her nor from her family. She's shown she has great potential. Once she gets her game right, she could be among the best in the world. She stood up to Swiatek and didn't back down. That line, that single line from the man who trained champions for decades, is the gift. That is what the Rafa Nadal Academy gave Alexandra Eala. Not a car, not a check, but the belief, forged through years of grueling, relentless work, that she belongs on that court, that she belongs among the best, that she will not back down. And Eala herself understands the weight of what she carries. At just 19, she said, "I would love to think that I make a difference. That's the only thing I can do to give back to my country, to help inspire positive change, to inspire people to pick up a racket, to watch more tennis, watch more women's tennis." As of February 2026, Alexandra Eala is ranked number 47 in the world, a career high that would have seemed unimaginable when she arrived in Spain at 13 from Quezon City, racket in hand, carrying a nation's dreams on her shoulders. She opened the 2026 season strong. Semi-finals at the Auckland Open, quarter-finals at Abu Dhabi. Filipino fans, famously passionate, famously loud, famously devoted, have followed her everywhere. In Melbourne, her Court 6 match caused a traffic jam. In Abu Dhabi, "Let's go Alex" banners flooded the grounds before she even faced the press. And in Mallorca, at the Rafa Nadal Academy, there's a photograph that needs no caption. Rafael Nadal standing beside Eala's parents and her brother, not as a coach, not as a legend, but as family. As the person who, in a very real sense, helped raise this young woman into the athlete and the person she is becoming. The fake stories will keep coming. Viral posts claiming extravagant gifts, million-dollar deals, luxury cars handed over and tearful surprises. They'll circulate because the internet thrives on the gap between reality and what people desperately wish were true. There's nothing wrong with wishing. There's nothing wrong with wanting the world to recognize what you already see in someone you believe in. But the real story is already extraordinary enough. A girl from the Philippines left home at 13. She spent 6 years training under the system built by one of the greatest athletes in history. She graduated, turned pro, and climbed steadily, stubbornly, brilliantly to the top 50. She beat the world number 2 in front of a global audience. She received the first private message that legend had ever sent her. And on the anniversary of his retirement, that mentor returned to a tennis court for the first time in a year, and chose to share it with her. If that isn't a gift, then the word has lost its meaning entirely. The question now, the one that will hover over women's tennis for the next decade, is not whether Alexandra Eala has what it takes. She's already answered that. The question is how far she goes, and whether the foundation Rafael Nadal helped build, the belief Tony Nadal confirmed, and the hunger that burns so clearly in everything she says and does will carry her all the way to the top. And here's something to think about as this chapter closes. Carlos Yulo won 2 Olympic gold medals for the Philippines in Paris 2024. The country rewarded him with everything from condominium units to a lifetime supply of ramen. The Philippines knows how to celebrate its heroes. It knows how to honor those who carry the flag and make the impossible feel possible. When Alexandra Eala reaches the pinnacle, when she lifts a Grand Slam trophy or claims number 1, or simply keeps inspiring generations, the celebration will be thunderous. And it will be earned. Not from viral fiction, but from the quiet, relentless truth of what she's already built. The story isn't over. It's just getting started. Here is the final rewritten and polished conclusion to your narrative script. I've kept the passionate cinematic tone, full of pride, inspiration, and forward-looking drama, while updating with accurate current details, as of February 2026. Alexandra Eala is 20 years old, born May 23, 2005. Her career high ranking was number 40 on February 9, 2026, currently around number 47 after a strong Dubai run where she reached the quarterfinals, upsetting players like Jasmine Paolini and Sorana Cîrstea before falling to Coco Gauff. She's projected to climb higher soon, possibly into the top 30 to 32 live rankings. She's entered Indian Wells main draw and eyeing Miami defense. The ending ties back to national pride, hero celebrations like Carlos Yulo, and ends with your engaging call to action questions and subscribe prompt. The Philippines knows how to pour love and pride, everything it has, into the people who carry its flag on the world stage. Alexandra Eala has not won an Olympic gold medal yet. She has not won a Grand Slam title yet. But at just 20 years old, she is already the highest-ranked Filipino tennis player in history, peaking at world number 40 earlier this month, currently sitting at number 47 after a breakthrough quarterfinal run at the Dubai WTA 1000, where she stunned top 10 players and drew massive crowds chanting her name. What happens when she does win that slam? What happens when the girl who left home at 13, who trained in Spain for 6 years under Rafael Nadal's system, who stood across the net from IGA Swiatek in Miami and did not back down, finally holds a Grand Slam trophy above her head? The world will react. The Philippines will erupt. Stadiums will shake with "Let's go Alex" chants echoing from Manila to Melbourne. Social media will flood with pride, parades will line the streets, and the nation that rewarded Carlos Yulo with condos, cash, ramen for life, and endless heroes' welcomes after his Paris 2024 golds will do the same and more for its tennis trailblazer. Somewhere in Mallorca, Spain, a retired legend with 22 Grand Slam titles will probably smile quietly, post a simple message with a wink emoji, and say, "I always knew." This is more than a tennis story. It's a story about what happens when raw talent meets the right environment, when a young girl's dream connects with a legend's legacy, and when an entire nation decides to believe, fiercely, unapologetically, before the rest of the world catches up. Alexandra Eala isn't waiting for the world's permission. And neither, it seems, is the man who helped build her foundation. The story isn't over. It has barely begun. Drop a comment below. Do you think Alex Eala can win a Grand Slam within the next 3 years? And if Nadal had to pick one player from the current WTA Tour to mentor long-term, do you believe Eala is already that choice? If this story moved you, if you felt the weight of what this young woman has already accomplished and the enormity of what still lies ahead, hit that subscribe button, because stories like this one, we tell them every single week. And you do not want to miss what comes next. Let's go, Alex. The Philippines is with you. The world is watching.